Okay, so for my main project this summer, interning at Oldcastle Materials, I redesigned and developed the front end of the Oldcastle Materials customer portal. The way it started out, I was actually doing something else. I was working on their SharePoint stuff, and then I was asked to make a small fix in the interface, the payment interface, so that people could make payments on their mobile devices. This is, by the way, this is the old version, and this is the new version, the one that I've finished. This is a placeholder for little announcements that people can add if they want to. It just has filler text in it just so I can see what it looks like. So the old portal is not mobile responsive at all. But anyway, I'm just going to show you. They asked me to make a fix to the checkout page. Because people weren't able to make payments. And so I made this small fix, very temporary fix, so people could actually fill out the form to make payments. But I couldn't change too much else. Like you can see, this is still, I wasn't given access to change very much else besides that. So I did the best I could. And while I did that, I took note of some of the problems that I found with the code. And I made a presentation and shared it with the development manager who asked me to make this fix in the first place. And so this is what this is my presentation I gave to him. I'm going to add this on Celio, so I don't need to read through it here, but I basically just explained that Bootstrap wasn't being used the way that it was intended. It was part of the app, but it was being overridden everywhere. So it made it so it wasn't responsive anymore. So after I shared that with him, he said that there had actually been a request to make fixes to make the whole thing responsive. And we got approval to move me to a different department. They moved me to the development team. And I switched mentors, and I took this on as my main project for the rest of the summer. This happened in June. And so the first thing I did when I started the project was I made a heuristic evaluation. I already knew that the main problem was that the portal wasn't responsive, and so I actually made the heuristic evaluation completely with the desktop version, because I took it for granted that everything was going to need to made. I was going to need to make it responsive anyway. So I made a heuristic evaluation of all the usability problems that I found on the desktop version, or how it displays on desktop. And this is what the evaluation looks like. It's pretty boring, but it just documents all the issues, the usability problems, along with their location in the app, and then their severity rating based on Jacob Nielsen's 10 heuristics and his 5 severity ratings. So after I did that, the next thing I did was I looked at the information architecture of the web app, and I noticed that there was a lot of duplication, and it was confusing for me at least to know where to go to get certain information. And so I made some proposals for how to restructure the information architecture, and I presented this to the main team who championed the portal from the beginning. They're not developers, but they're accountants. They're in Oldcastle's accounts receivable department. And so I shared this with them, showed them where there was duplicate content. All the same colors on these pages are all duplicate content. And I proposed this structure for the information architecture, and luckily they all approved of it. So going forward from there, I knew I was going to make big changes to the information architecture of the app. And the next step that I took was to do a ton of sketches. So here's all the sketches that I did. I tried to do 2 sketches of, a lot of these are several pages long. I tried to do 2 sketches of every single page and component of the app to force myself to consider at least 2 ways of displaying the elements. And so made a bunch of sketches and got those approved. I got the opinions of the business on each of the sketches and which one they preferred for the final design. Then I made some mock-ups. I didn't make a lot, but I made a few mock-ups. But they were pretty happy with the decisions that we came up with from the sketches, so I moved into the development phase after that. And I guess now the best thing to do, I don't really need to tell you every aspect of the development phase, but maybe I'll just show you the differences in the portal. I'll show you on desktop first, and then I'll show you on a mobile device. So let me just switch this to desktop view really quick. Okay, so let me log out here so we can compare side to side. So remember, the left side is the old version, the right side is the new version. Just log in here. So here's a comparison of the account summary page. We have the same, they're displaying info on a graph. And then I took away the invoices because those belong on the invoices page. That was some of the duplicate content. So that's the account summary page. If you click on one of the bars in the old version, it takes you to invoices. I did the same thing in the new one. So since we're looking at invoices page right now, let's just go compare that. So one of the main things to do with the information architecture was I combined, they have a section for construction invoices and regular invoices or materials invoices in the old app, and I combined them so that there's only one place to go for all your invoices, and there's just a tab between the two. This person doesn't have any construction invoices, but another thing I did was I made the table itself so that it scrolls horizontally. By the way, these logos these are just placeholders that will in the final version there will be actual logos of the companies that are involved with the app. And then there was a lot of really, like a ton of information in the header of the old portal. I moved that to the footer, at least all the stuff that seemed like it belonged in the footer. I changed the modals, so sending a message. I made the CSS so that, so one thing to know about the portal is there are a lot of different versions of the portal because a lot of different companies use their own version. And there was really no unified way to create different themes of the portal. And that's what I did with this new design. So all this green coloring is just one company's color, and I made it so that they only really have to declare a color, and then the rest will be taken care of. So they basically just choose one theme color for the portal, and all the buttons and controls and things will be that color. And then the rest is similar. Payment history. I guess I might as well show how it looks on mobile now. Okay, so we'll go back to the account summary. So obviously there's lots of sideways scrolling, and then scrolling within the table, difficult to use. And then this is how it's looking now on mobile device. Account summary. Here's invoices. Just scroll to the side. And then I'll show you the payment cart. So let's add a bunch of invoices to the cart. I actually haven't finished the notifications yet. I'm still working on this. But so here's what the cart looks like in the old version on mobile. Coming out of the container. Here's what the cart looks like on the new version. Scroll through your invoices here. Let's close that. This is a control to filter where the content is coming from, and I did that here. Here's the user controls. They were all spread out in the original version. I put them all under one little tab. So like, for example, changing a customer, and this one was here, and this one I pulled it up here. So really it has all the same functionality. I didn't add a bunch of different functionality, but it's just a different look so that users can access all of it on their mobile devices. And that basically sums up what I have done for this, for my main project this summer. I have a few more days and a couple last touches that I'm going to add before I pass it on back to the development team and they put it into production. But for the most part, I'm done. So, thank you for listening, and hope you have a great day.